Wherever you are listening from, whatever time of day you're listening, we're sure glad you're joining us here on Behind the G, a podcast for Red Elephants by Red Elephants. I'm Katie B. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Adam Lindsay, athletic director at Gainesville High School. We got a great show lined up for you today. Not only are we going to have some conversations about the things going on in Gainesville athletics, and boy, have we had a wild couple of weeks since you last heard from us during the Gainesville Day of Giving. It took it all out of us, folks. We've had nothing. We've had nothing to offer since then. But in the couple of weeks since you've heard from us, a lot has gone on in Gainesville athletics, both preparing for next year, but also, with our baseball team and track's got some kids going to state, and our girls golf team made it to state as well. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. And we're going to be joined by Elie Viviant because one of the biggest stories is our boys soccer team is going to the state semifinals on Friday night. They'll be at River Ridge to take on River Ridge, 7 p.m. kickoff, and they're looking to go to the state finals for the first time since 2019. This is the first time they've been to the quarterfinals since 2019. First time they've been to the semifinals since 2019. Great season for Coach Viviant and the Red Elephants, and we'll get into more on that later. As we always like to start the show out, make sure you're following us on social media at Go Red Elephants across the board. That is all platforms, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Log on to GoRedElephants.com for all your Big Red sports needs. So, Adam, I mentioned from the jump, Gainesville Day of Giving absolutely took it out of us. Yeah. I'm 100% not kidding when I say that.
By the end of the day, you were like, "I'm done."
We were, but it might be the first time I've ever seen you done.
Yeah.
I don't think we spoke a lot the couple of days following.
No, but
not in a mad way.
When we did it, yeah, that
not in a mad way.
We did this different than we did last time.
Oh yeah,
and we had planned breaks.
Yeah. That's true.
That's where true. You were going to take a segment, or I was taking, and neither one of us ever got up.
No, we didn't.
We sat in the same spot for 6 hours, and it was a good time. I really enjoyed all the conversations we had.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed
love
all
the guests
we got to talk to. But it does make for a long day. But I've been so pleased. With the people that have been, hey, I listened for 3 hours and I really enjoyed it. So
the response was good. So what was a little crazy here, folks, a little behind the scenes. That's what we like to do here on Behind the G. So we were streaming through YouTube, but directing people to our website, which was allowing for the stream to be on our website. NFHS streams on our website, YouTube streams on our website, blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking at the YouTube interface and cussing y'all up and down because I'm like, why is nobody paying attention? And then we got the numbers. But again, remember, the traffic was being directed to all the links we put out to our website. But for some reason that day it wasn't coming into wasn't clicking with me. Yeah. And then we got the numbers from our website for that day, and I echo what. We appreciate y'all watching.
Yeah. YouTube was throwing us off. It would say you have 8 people watching. And it's like, well, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
But then we go,
because it's probably my mother, your parents.
Yeah, we could totally account for those 8 if we tried to. But the numbers we got back from the website said we had a lot of people watching and paying attention, which was really, really cool. And again, it was a great event day. Again, as we mentioned before, appreciate Clark over at Johnny's hosting us for the day, giving us 2 days of proceeds from them, which was awesome. Again, it was just a great day, and it was fun to talk about Gainesville athletics.
We always love, we're not kidding when we say it's a great day to be a Red Elephant. Both of us truly feel that way. Most days we walk into work. Sometimes I'm a little off. I can fully say that Adam feels that way every day, but some days I'm a little off. But that was a great day to be a Red Elephant. And for those who came and joined us, we had some really random people pop up and be like, hey, saw online, or saw on your Twitter feed, like a guy literally came over to me. No idea who he is. Don't know his name. Sweet as can be, though, smiling the whole time. Showed me our Go Red Elephants X feed, Twitter. I'm going to still call it Twitter.
It is Twitter.
It's Twitter. Showed me the Go Red Elephants Twitter page. He was like, I was just scrolling through y'all's feed and saw you were here. I came to eat lunch with you. I was like, okay, man.
There we go. When I was at the board meeting on Monday night, one of the board members mentioned, I turned it on to listen, and she's like, I realized 3 hours later, I'd been watching for 3 hours.
Bless your soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great day. We have semi-recovered from that day. Yeah. And so that's why we decided to do a podcast this week.
Yeah, we're going to get back at it. We're not going for 6 hours.
We're not. No, hell no. But happy to be back behind the G with you folks. So Adam, in a couple of weeks, we're going to bring forth a year wrap. The week of graduation, our graduation here at GHS, May 22nd, it'll be at City Park for all of you who don't know. Literally one of the best venues for a graduation in the country. Unbelievable. But that week, we're going to take an episode of Behind the G and make it sort of our year wrap. It will not be the last you'll hear from us until the fall by any stretch of the imagination, but there's just a lot from this year to celebrate and to talk about. There's a lot from the last 2 weeks, though. And I want to start, obviously, by giving kudos to our girls' golf team, qualified out of region, the area tournament. So they didn't even have to play sectionals to go to state. Addison Peoples, of course, low medalist. Get used to us saying that. We got 3 years of it. Yeah. Addison Peoples, low medalist. But kudos to the girls for accomplishing that. Finished second in region, right?
Second in region. They were leading all day and then just kind of fell off there at the end as they were closing out Johns Creek, who is a perennial powerhouse in girls golf. So not necessarily a surprise there, but, we kind of wanted to let them get that taste in their mouth so we can knock it out when we get to the state tournament.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so I will be, I'm taking one for the team. I'm going down to Jekyll Island for the 2 days of the golf tournament. May do some live tweeting from there, much to KDB's dismay.
What do I tell you? No, so quite literally, folks, when we have a big, and usually it happens a lot during football, basketball seasons when we'll have like a big win on a Friday night. I will wake up. First of all, you're some mess for making it known you're going down to Jekyll to quote unquote support our girls' golf team.
Somebody's
I see what
got
it is.
To do it.
Somebody does have to fall on that sword, man. I'm glad it's going to be you. But I always, first thing I do when I wake up, and maybe this makes me a loser, I don't know, but it's the first thing I do.
The same thing.
I check our social media before I check my personal social media. So I check our social media, see what's going on. And invariably, if we've had a big win the night before, in whatever, it could be baseball, there will be these things that I haven't done on our social media, And Adam Lindsay gets a text from me.
I just like to let everybody know that it's a great day to be a red elephant.
And the text usually says, stay off.
So territorial.
I am very territorial. No, but that would be great to live tweet.
Well, just a little update. I mean, for those people that aren't able to be down there, which, again, taking one for the team, so I have to earn it while I'm down there.
Just make sure you send me what you're going to be live tweeting so I can put it on social media platforms people actually pay attention to.
Gosh, here we go.
Listen, I'm, as an avid sports fan of all sports, I mean, I've spent since Saturday evening, so the last 3 days, crying hysterically every time a video pops up on my Twitter feed because I pay attention to Twitter because I'm an avid sports fan. If you are not an avid sports fan, you're probably not paying attention to Twitter. And cried every time a video of Sherry DeVoe or Golden Tempo comes across my feed. Every time. I'm just saying. I'm not anti-Twitter. But the majority of people probably aren't on Twitter.
Well,
paying a lot of attention to it.
Well, it's not a majority of people. We've had these conversations. There are different sections of society that pay attention to different platforms.
That's correct.
I am in that category that pays attention to Twitter.
I'm in that category too.
You are. For example, my wife has a Twitter and never looks at Twitter.
Correct.
But she is going to get all her information off of Instagram.
100%.
And
do you know where we're both never going? Facebook. Now, I'm going to put stuff on Facebook, mind you, but I'm never going to Facebook. Too many of y'all out there are doctors and things like that. I don't need that in my life. But anyway, all that to say, Adam's going down to Jekyll Island. If you glean nothing else from this, it's that Adam's going to Jekyll Island.
Mark your date. So
mark your dates.
You can call me, and I'll give you a live update too.
But super proud of Coach Prestridge, girls golf team.
Yes.
All those little sidebars we just went on. Super proud of Coach Prestridge and the girls. And I've got to. I mean. Of course, there's one big. We have Addison Peoples on our team.
Yeah.
And she is an incredible. She's not a good golfer. She is an incredible golfer.
Yeah, not even close. Not even her winning low medalist at the area tournament was not even close.
Right.
She certainly has to be, as a freshman, has to be the favorite to win the state title. Again, she's got to go down there and do it, and got to do it over 2 days, which is a whole different ball game for everybody.
You're right. You're right.
But I'm certainly looking forward to being there for her.
You're going to be the difference maker. I feel it.
Well, if a ball flies errant, I want to be there to make it's right there.
It's right. Oh yeah, that's good. You should do that.
I just want to help.
That's it. You want to help.
I want to say like I did something.
Period. Just you can finish that sentence.
All right, let's change the subject off of golf now.
Speaking of some things that you have done, though, and I want to use this to then segue into the end of another remarkable season that we experienced these last 2 weeks. At the most recent board meeting, it was approved to provide some much needed updates to Ivy Watson. Yeah. Has Ivy Watson been updated, with the exception of putting people's jerseys that have been retired on the wall? It has not been updated since
40 years.
Yeah, I mean, there has not. And believe me, you step into that press box, you feel every one of those 40 years.
And we've certainly heard it from the people in the concession stands how much the electrical needs to be.
No doubt. But the renderings just, it kind of gives you the feels. I feel like this is what I don't know. That combined with the Vic, we might be looking at one of the best facilities in the state, or maybe in the country.
I think it's going to be hard to challenge what our baseball facilities will be when it's all done. Going through the design process was unbelievable. Yeah, really impressed with the company that we had designing this. We used a different company that's kind of designed anything else because we wanted to do something different. And Ivy Watson is a unique. It's a unique piece of land, which brings unique challenges. But it also, I think it has a characteristic or character that we wanted to keep. Yeah. We wanted to keep. People love to go out there and just bring their lawn chairs.
Sure.
So we didn't want to take that away. So having the terraced areas that people will still be able to bring their lawn chairs on is going to be fabulous. That was like number one characteristic we make sure we wanted to maintain. But then doing some permanent seating, which I'm looking forward to as well. It's gonna the way that stadium sits down. It's just nobody has something like that. Yeah. And for us to be able to do it and make it match all the other facilities we have, upgrading to turf. Again, which is where everybody's going in baseball, certainly for maintenance level and for the amount of play that we expect to get out of it, is going to be huge. For just to be able to walk out there and play. Yeah. And that's going to be huge. And you combine that with the Vic, our baseball program is going to have, it's hard for me to just even think about who would even be able to compete with having a better facility. Yeah. Certainly when you combine it with the Vic, which is better than some Division I, no doubt. What pros have. And then the field, the atmosphere that's going to create, it's just going to be unbelievable. So I'm so excited. Oddly enough, my favorite part is always the demolition. I like to see things go away.
That says a lot about
just because it's the hope that follows.
Oh yeah.
Seeing something be regenerated into something that is going to be here for another 40, 50 years.
That's right. That's right.
That people are going to be enjoying long past the time that I will be here to watch it. So that part is really cool. I know our kids and our community are going to be excited about getting to watch that process and getting to play their first games in it next year. And I'm going to have to, typically. When we've had construction going on, it was somewhere close. I'm gonna have to make a point to drive out to Ivy Watson every day to see what's going on and take some pictures, and because I just can't. That facility is going to be unbelievable. It really, really is.
And it is a facility that obviously Coach Chan Brown had a lot of input into what was going to be out there and whatnot, and he's super excited about it. We had to hold Coach Jordan McCoy back from putting things out on social media before we wanted them out there because they're all just so excited about what's to come, and it'll be ready next year. And I, as somebody who plans to be out there a lot myself, I can't wait for it. I had these moments this past season. And I spoke of them a few times. I think I might have talked about it on the game during the Gainesville Day of Giving, but this year harkened back to some really, really fun times during my high school days and early college days when Gainesville baseball was ruling the roost and winning 3 straight state titles and back-to-back state titles. And, obviously, being a 1997 graduate, I was in school for 2 of those state titles, but then my first weekend back from college, my freshman year, they won the 3rd one in a row, and we were all out there again, just like we'd been 2 seasons prior. And there's so many memories of that place, and the concrete's still the same, and the smells are still the same. And what I love is that because of the job that Coach Brown, Coach McCoy, and his whole staff has done in turning the program around, or as I would say, back to looking a lot like it did, there are going to be people 40 years from now talking about the new facilities and having those moments of nostalgia like I'm doing now.
Yep.
There to me is nothing like walking on a clear, sunny day, walking into Ivy Watson Field and down those steps, and the music's blaring, and the baseball team's out there warming up, and it's highly likely you're going to win, and there's going to be a great crowd, and there's little like that atmosphere. So to think with these new facilities, somebody 40 years from now is going to be sitting here, hopefully behind the G still exists too in some capacity. We ain't going to be here doing it, but hopefully it exists in some capacity. And hopefully, and talking about being able to walk down the steps at Ivy Watson and see the same success we were all fortunate enough to get to see. And so, that's the segue into, my God, what a baseball season.
Yes, it's been fun.
So fun.
And when you look back and you see where we started. 1-8 start. It wasn't very bright, but again, as we've talked about with Coach Brown, so many of those 8 losses were 1-run losses. That just came down to an error or a walk or something along those lines. To see them put it together in region play like they did, and what was it? It was a 13-14 game win streak. Through region play, and then winning a couple of rounds there. I mean, that's just huge. I mean, that's huge for that program to say, the things we're doing, we're heading in the right direction.
That's right.
We're doing the right things. It's paying off for us. So super excited for those kids and Coach Brown. Just full faith in what they're doing. No doubt.
And the facilities. Listen, if you think facilities don't play a big role in how a team does.
Yeah.
Our baseball team is a shining example that is the wrong opinion.
Yeah.
When the Vic became an entity they could fully use, our offense turned around dramatically.
Yeah.
Because they had the space to be able to really parse down hitting.
Yeah.
And it literally changed the game for them. And
that's one of the cool things, and again, we learned that from our conversations with Coach Brown, but it's not one of the things I'd ever thought about, of how you set up and use your indoor facility. Right. And, we've always had an indoor facility, but it was only 2 lanes. So now they're at 4, which they've now just expanded on, how they can differentiate what they're doing in that room. So, again, kudos to them for, number one, having the idea of how are we going to use this space and then follow through and using it to get us those results it did.
And 2 things as we sort of wrap up the baseball conversation here. 2 things. One, I loved that Coach Brown was just angry through yesterday about losing to Glenn Academy this past Friday in the 2nd round. Unbelievable that we got to host a playoff round. Like I get super emotional talking about it. Unbelievable that these kids got to experience that kind of success. Because it is success when you get to host. Now, did we want to beat Glenn Academy? Heck yes. Yep. Do we want to still be playing? Absolutely. But that they got to experience any level of success is just fantastic to me. But I love that Coach Brown was angry. He may still be angry, but he seems to have lightened up a little bit.
Well, I think he always is like 51% angry.
51%,
It's just a matter of can we get him back down to 51%.
The approval of the upgrades, I think, maybe helped his mood some.
Yeah, sure.
But I love that he was angry because that's where his greatness comes from, right? So it still exists. That's good news for us, even though we knew it did.
Yep.
I saw it, right?
Yep. One thing just before we get off the baseball subject, and again, I don't think we're necessarily supposed to get on this conversation, but I do want to encourage people to go out and vote for East Blast when that comes up. I can't tell you which way to vote, but it is helpful for our school system across the board for that funds, which I thought it was important. One of the board members pointed out the other night at the board meeting that 40% of East Blast funds come from people that are outside of Hall County.
Yeah.
So that's to me the biggest. That's the biggest part of what East Blast. Why people should vote for East Blast is because it's not us paying it. It's not us paying all of it.
No, and it's not an added tax.
No.
It's the continuation of an already existing tax.
Correct. Yep.
And anytime anybody comes into our community and goes out to eat, if they work in our community and they're having lunch in our community, then thank you for helping us build the Student Activity Center and helping us build
Gainesville Middle School West.
Gainesville Middle School West. Yeah.
And the bigger things, for me, are what's coming next.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're going to start doing some things for a couple of different elementary schools, adding some classrooms and those kind of things. And while we've had the opportunity to make some much needed additions, renovations to the high school campus, the continuation of it is going to help our elementary schools as well.
And you either keep how do I say it? You're going to get left behind if you don't keep up with the growth that is already existing and coming, right? And allowing us to update facilities, allowing us to build new facilities helps us do that and makes our school system continue to be the great school system it is. Last thing about baseball, and this is a funny. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just remember, so I wanted to mention this week that on a week from Saturday, we are going to be doing a
sod sale.
A sod sale. So all of you that want to get either two things: either you need some good sod for your yard, or two, you want to take a piece of Ivy Watson home and be able to say, like, that turf right there came from Ivy Watson. Yeah. We're going to be doing a turf sale out at Ivy Watson a week from Saturday. So it's going to be pretty cool because we have a lot of people asking, with us transitioning to turf, what are we going to do with the grass? So we are going to sell that. It is going to be a fundraiser for the Baseball Booster Club, which is, I'm going to grab a couple of pieces, just plant it in my yard, and hopefully maybe I can get Brandon and those guys to come out and take care of it like they did that. But
that's it.
The grounds crew is like, people want to buy this sod, but they're going to know they have to take care of it. It's not going to look like this if they just don't take care of it.
But you also get to literally buy a piece of some of the most well-kept lawn in high school athletics in the country. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. When they tore down the alumni gym to build where we're sitting right now, and Student Activity Center, I think I got a piece of bleacher from that. I threw it away a long time ago because whatever. I've got pictures from inside that gym and like actual memories of doing stuff inside that gym that goes far beyond but I love the idea of selling the best grass in Gainesville, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Selling the best grass.
We got to be careful how we say that.
We got to be careful, a little careful.
But I do think that is going to be on a first come, first served basis. So, if you want to come back your truck up, some of the baseball players can be out there, help you load it up. And again, at the end of the day, it's a fundraiser for the Baseball Boost Club. As I always
fun! I love that.
It is. But I always say, winning is expensive.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to help, throw some more money to that program, I think our community needs to jump behind it and
no doubt.
And take a little grass home too.
Take a little grass home. Care of GHS. So last thing, we'll wrap up baseball talk. So our students are, first of all, funny. They are so funny. Most of them. They're so our little student section at baseball games. And I call it funny because I don't have to go deal with them. I don't get told 30 times that you
can say they're funny. I'm the one that has to go deal with them.
So they sit right behind. For those of you who have not been to a baseball game, shame on you. Our students sit on tailgates and whatnot. They park cars. They sit, and they're on tailgates right behind the fans of the opposing team.
Yeah. That's a great combination.
Yeah, you can imagine how things get, right? You can imagine how things get. So one of the big voices in our student section, Max Williams, brother of Philip Williams, son of Laura Williams, nephew of the Friersons, Chip, and
Leslie.
Leslie
but
Frierson.
We can't leave Todd. Todd's on.
Son of Todd too, not just son of Laura. My bad. So, but Max Williams is not. So they were apparently giving Glenn Academy parents an earful. Not parents an earful. They were giving the kids an earful, which the parents took exception to. Y'all know how these things go. So as I'm leaving after the doubleheader, I pass Max Williams. He's coming down the steps. I'm going up the steps. And he goes up to a Glenn Academy parent, and I paused for a minute because I was like, oh, no. But I also know the character of this young man.
Absolutely.
He's not. But I paused for a second. And he looked at the Glenn Academy parent, and he said, I just wanted you to know that we can take it as well as we give it. And I really wish y'all best of luck. And like the sincerity there. And shook the man's hand. The man absolutely lit up. He was like, oh, thank you so much. Y'all are so much fun. I'm like, yeah, you think that because you just beat our butts. Yeah, you think it's fun.
Yeah.
But it was that interaction. I was like, that might be the most perfect end to this baseball season.
Well, that's cool, and that shows what high character kid Max is. I had to have a conversation with Max at soccer last night because all that baseball crew showed up at soccer last night, but with that same megaphone.
With the same megaphone.
Yeah.
And are they called vuvuzelas that they? Whatever they're called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They were blowing the sin out of those things at baseball, and you're supposed to at soccer. Like that is a soccer, right? Mm-hmm. It's the long kazoo is really what it is, right? But yeah, so okay, and another perfect segue here before we bring on our boys soccer coach. You got to take a minute to just say, "Daggum," the season they've had.
Well, and what's mind blowing to me is we're a 3 seed. Okay.
Yeah,
we're a 3 seed. We're ranked
because our region's so freaking good.
And that was my point. Is our region is so good. We're a 3 seed and we're in the Final Four.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? And just kudos to Coach Viviant. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching our kids all season, and it's funny because the last 2 rounds we have been tied at halftime, 1-1, and. Was sitting talking with the Pope AD last night, and at halftime he's like, we both had a lot of shots. These are both really great teams. He's like, I just don't think our kids can hang with y'all in the second half. And I was like, we'll see. It's a long game. Blah blah blah. And I was reminded to Clark Central the week before where we rattled off 4 more goals in the second half, and then we come out in the second half and start laying it to them. And man, it was tight there at the end. And I get it. Marquise Rangel, our goalie, made some incredible saves last night. That they had a lot of shots, and we just found a way to get ourselves in right in front of them and stop them. And there was a couple that they were banging around. You were just waiting for it to go in.
Yeah.
And we just found a way to keep them out. And I was worried. It was 2-1. 20 minutes left, 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left, 9 minutes left. I'm like, oh my God.
The clock cannot go quick enough. I know.
Please just let the clock go away. And then we scored that final goal to go up 3-1 with a minute left, and I was like, okay, I feel like I can breathe now.
Well, but that's how tight it was. And I'll also say this about it. It was tight as Adam is describing, but we also our time of possession was high.
Yeah,
like we dominated time of possession. They were more efficient with their time of possession. Like
correct.
They were getting our defense, our back line did such a great job of clearing the ball too. When Rangel would knock one down, or did such a great job of clearing the ball. But they're fun to watch, and high character kids, man.
Yep.
High character kids.
There's a theme there.
There is high character kids connectivity.
Yeah.
If we hadn't talked about those 2 things since August,
yeah, you're right.
With all of our programs. But these kids are great. I love seeing our captain, Christian Sesmas Perez, get one in. He hadn't scored a whole lot, but boy, he has been the tempo setter for us this year.
Yep.
And Brian Tercios doing his thing. It's just fun to see.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to Coach Viviant about this being kind of a revenge game. Because we played River Ridge. I can't remember if it was last year. I feel like it was last year. I felt like I made like 3 trips over to River Ridge to take butt whoopings, all in the same year.
Girls basketball.
I was tired of coming over here. But this has our kids, and I know Coach Viviant remembers. That one did not go well either. So, it's they're good. There's no doubt they're good.
Yeah.
They're going to have good size, but I always trust our ball skills and speed, and then how we come out in the second half.
Yeah, and if nothing else, I trust Coach Elie Viviant. He had the boys right this year. The first thing I want to talk to him about, and we're going to get to him here in just a second. One of the first things he said to us when we had him on before the season was how he had to cut some guys who'd played for him before to put on the team guys that were just more skilled, but more importantly had the personality that this team needed. And boy, how it listen, it's if they lose on Friday night, it's worked out.
Yeah,
it's worked out. Can't argue that at all. All right, folks, we're gonna bring Elie Viviant on Behind the G when we come back. We appreciate you listening. Boys are going to the state semifinals. It's going to be a great night at River Ridge on Friday night. Elie Viviant up next. With Tuesday night's 3-1 win over Pope, our boys' soccer team is in the state semifinals. They will take on River Ridge this Friday, 7 p.m., unfortunately, at River Ridge. We so prefer hosting events, but they're going to go to River Ridge, see if they can find their way into the Class 5A finals. Joining us now on Behind the G, the man of the moment, Elie Viviant, coach of our boys' soccer team, taking them to the state semifinals for the first time since 2019, as we mentioned earlier. First time they've been in the quarterfinals when they got that win over Clark Central. Over Pope was the quarterfinals. Come on, KDB.
It's okay.
First time they made it to the quarterfinals since 2019. Got a big win over Clark Central on the road. Beat Lakeside on the road before Clark Central, and then, of course, had Pope at home on Tuesday night. Going back on the road for those state semifinals. Coach, I told Adam this a little while ago, that I wanted to open up by asking, when we first talked before the season, maybe like 2 weeks into the season, last time we had you on, you made mention of the fact that, and I applauded you and lauded over you for it, you made mention of the fact that you had to make some tough decisions in who you put on the team and who wasn't on the team prior to the season, and that you did that based on what you wanted the personality of the team to be. I think I speak for Adam and really Gainesville as a whole when I say kudos for creating the type of personality with this team you have. But when you look back on the decisions made, now knowing how far it's gotten you in this season, how you feeling? How you feeling about those?
Pretty good, actually. It's one of those things. We got lucky a little bit. We have one or two players who I didn't even know were on campus that are playing for us. We have a great center back, Ruben, played football, decided that he was going to play soccer as well, and it has been a great addition, great all-around players, good attitude, everything. And I think that the all-in that we have created has made where people buy into it, and now it's showing where, like in games, even yesterday against Pope, we were not the best team on the first 15 minutes, but we don't let it go. Like, it's okay. We are going to come back. We are going to win the game. Where the mentality is really good. Like, the attitude is really good. So.
That leads me into my first question. Coach, I've seen in the last two rounds of the playoffs where we've been tied at halftime, and then have been able to come out in the second half and impose our will on the team, what on the opponent. So what is it about this team that allows them the opportunity to do that?
So I think technically we're a little bit better at putting the ball on the ground, and when the ball travels, then the other team has to chase us, and the more they chase us, I mean, people can run, but they cannot run 80 minutes. No team is going to run for 80 minutes. So usually they're able to put pressure on us the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. But as the game goes, we are going to be able to have more space, create more space. And we have the players who are going to be able to run a little bit. We don't run as much in the first 20, 25 minutes that other teams. But we are more able to run at a slower speed for 80 minutes. And at some point, we pass that threshold where we're actually the team that is running the fastest of the two teams. And I see, for example, yesterday against Pope, in the second half, as the game was going, we were definitely the better team running-wise and with the ball. So.
Yeah, able to wear teams down. You saw it again against Clark Central. What was it, five goals? Four unanswered. And then against Pope, you had two unanswered. There has been a common denominator with our teams that have been successful this year. There's connectivity with the kids. Player-driven teams are more successful than coach-driven teams. That's just how it goes. When there's a certain amount of connectivity, player-driven happens, and I feel like you've got it this year. And one of the big reasons for that is one of your captains, at least the one I see the most of. That's Christian Sesmas Perez. Great interview he did with Gainesville Times after the match last night, folks. If you hadn't seen it, go look at it. It points to exactly what I'm talking about, the connectivity of this team. Do you see that on a day-to-day basis in practice?
Yeah, I think so this year we changed a few things. One of the things is we have 3 captains. The captains are responsible for putting the stuff out, putting the stuff back when we practice, so that I don't have to do it. And it's good. Like, we have good leaders. Marquis is a good leader. AB is a good leader. We have people like before the game, after the game, during halftime. They talk to other players, and that's something that maybe we have been lacking a little bit in the past.
Yeah.
And to have leaders on the field is great, because also, there is not much that I can do from the sideline. Mm-hmm. People think that coaches are always there to scream. I don't scream because I want to scream. I scream because when you are 80 yards away, it's hard for you to hear me if I don't scream.
Yeah.
It just,
no doubt.
That's not...
Right.
If they are like 2 yards from me, I don't scream at them.
Yeah.
I just tell them what I think.
It's not an angry
like
thing.
that.
It's a...
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
But to have good leaders on the field is good, because they are going to take their responsibility to organize a team for you. They know what you want, and they're able to delegate. And that's really good for us.
You mentioned your team's ability to endure, wear other teams down with their endurance, the ability to, run for 80 minutes, not necessarily at a fast pace, but a pace that, again, wears the opponent down. When you look at this team as a whole, what has gotten them to the state semifinals, though? Like, obviously, you Marquis and formerly Logan Gailey, who's injured. That's why Marquis is all-time keeper right now, have done a great job in goal. You've clearly got a back line. All-time, I say all-time quarterback. I do that all the, yeah. Anyway, so you've got a back line, noticed a lot last night. Yeah, Mark Rangel is getting the ball on the ground, but they're clearing it quickly. So, what is it from the coach's standpoint that makes this team a state semifinal team?
Well, it's one of those things. Like, for example, Clark Central. Everybody knows number 9, Henry. 36 goals this year. But he's not going to beat us by himself.
Yeah.
I might not have a Henry in my team, but I have definitely 15 people that are solid.
Yeah.
And when you have people that are solid everywhere, there is not, you see, like, if you were to scout my teams, there is not really a way where you are going to say, hey, you know what, this guy is weak. That's where we are going to go, because there is not that in our team. We don't really have a weak point.
Yeah.
And they can't just say, like, hey, we're gonna hone in on this one.
Yeah, we're gonna hone in on Brian Tercios, because then you got Vasquez who can yeah.
It's exactly like that. And us so far, so yesterday Pope was the first team where they didn't have a weak point either. They were solid all the way around. They didn't have a great number 9, but they were a good number 9. We have a good number 9. It was an even team. I will say, they are winning 1-0, and sometimes I will say you have the part of luck, and it's a game of inches. Mm-hmm. We are winning 1-0, they shot the post. If it goes 2-0, it's a little bit harder for us to come back.
Yeah.
But they don't. And then on the last play of the half, almost we score, we tie. And then we know that 1-1 for us is really good at halftime. Mm-hmm. But we have 15, 16 people. The whole team, we have solid players everywhere. If somebody is injured, we can have somebody else back there and things like that. And so it allows us to do more sub, but there is no weak point. We are not going to make that many mistakes. Now, we do make mistakes. Like yesterday, they scored on one of our mistakes. We scored the second goal on one on their mistakes. It's things like that. And that's where the game is important, is to realize when are the mistakes that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
And so I think we're just solid all the way around. This year we were not far. We have lost some games, but even in the game we lost, we were not that far of being a good team.
Well, I remember you coming in after, playing, and again, Johns Creek, part of our region, Region 7 5A, they're one of the top-ranked teams in the country. They're the number one ranked teams in the state by far, but they're one of the top-ranked teams in the country. And you came in after that match a little mad not because y'all lost, but because if you'd played better, you would have had the opportunity for an upset. And yes. I like that you think that. I don't want to you think that highly of you. Like, your guys can do it.
Yes, and again, Johns Creek won yesterday, so they are in the Final Four as well, which means that our region was well represented. We are a pretty strong region, But again, I do believe at Johns Creek was a different type of games. We started by losing, and by the time of halftime, we knew that we were too far to get back into that game, and the next game was too important for us to just try to run out of a game and then don't have the legs for the next game.
Yeah.
So it was a different type of games where, hey, you know what, we lost halftime. We gave you the game. That's it. There was not much we could do after that.
Right, a little bit of a chess match there too, getting yourself, as you just mentioned, getting yourself prepared.
And so, like, we have had a few players coming back. Brian Contreras came back. He had a stretch fracture in his leg after the East Hall game. At that point at the Johns Creek, he hadn't played. So the next game is when he came back. And then we had few things happening where now we have all the pieces where we want them to be, and we are a lot better team. And since then, we have played a lot better everywhere. Like, we are playing well. We are a good team, I believe.
I want to go back to, and we've already kind of talked about Marquise Rangel, but number one, he had a fabulous night last night.
Yes.
He played really, really well. And all season, you've kind of been, splitting time between Logan Gailey and Marquise, and Logan's dealing with an injury right now. But how key was Marquise for y'all last night?
Great. I mean, like, again, Marquise has some qualities. He's probably one of the best shot stopper that I've had. Yesterday, like, he has, I think it's number 7 from the other side. It's 2-1. He has a great shot on the ground. Marquis stops it.
Yeah.
Few goalies are going to stop those. It's hard. We always think, oh, he took off and he stopped something in the air. But if you think about it, it's a lot harder to dive on the ground than to dive in the air.
Yep.
And that's something that he's able to do. And that's something, I mean, like, one-on-one is really good.
Yeah.
He's super quick. He's a really good goalie, and so no, it's fabulous to have 2 great goalies.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something.
How lucky are we to have that?
Problem.
Yeah.
Like,
good problem.
we go to Clark Central, and my JV goalie is probably as good as their varsity goalie.
They pulled somebody off their offensive line to come play goalie for them.
No, but it's things like that. Like, a goalie is such an important position when you go deep in playoff, because now all my guys from 25 yards, 30 yards can put a shot on target.
Yep.
So if your goalie is not good enough, then the other team is just going to take shot from far away. When they know your goalie is good, they know they have to get close.
Yep.
And when they have to get close, then it helps your defense, because you can sit back a little bit and wait. And then, for my guys, it's nice to know, hey, the guy who is behind me, he has my back. Like, my goalie, like, he's going to get the ball most of the time. Like, I don't have to worry so much as, like, oh, crap, like, they are going to take a shot and it's probably a goal again.
Yeah. So as we turn our mind to Friday night, River Ridge, 7 p.m. I don't know about you, and I don't know about your kids, but we went to River Ridge, just recently. Not a great experience in multiple sports where we had to travel to River Ridge. I know that this one kind of has to be circled on your calendar as we looking for some redemption.
Yeah, so there is few things. They are a really good team. Again, they are really solid everywhere. They have 1 or 2 great players. They have a great striker. The funny part is that to look game film from Pope, actually one of the main films that we watched was a River Ridge Pope game, because they have the PKs on it. They played for 120 minutes. But they have one key advantage on us, is that they are back-to-back state champ in soccer. So that means that they have the experience. They have 13 games undefeated in playoff.
Yeah.
So they have that thing. I think that they have that confidence that they can beat everybody.
Yep.
They were not a region champ, but they are the last one of their region still in. And I think that the playoff is made for them.
Yeah.
However, I do think that this time when we are going there, we are bringing a good team. And again, I will say I take a tie at the half, or I even take a 1-goal differential for them at the half, and we can still get on top. However, they do play a lot like us, where they are not a fast starting team, but they last 80 minutes. So I will say the battle of the second half is going to be a real battle. They match us pretty well everywhere.
Well, it's certainly a game I'm looking forward to. Not looking forward to making the drive back over to River Ridge, but Friday night at 7 o'clock, it's certainly going to be the place to be.
Yeah, no doubt. And Coach, we love it when any of our programs have success. But I was looking at pictures from the match last night. And folks, you can find a photo gallery of all the action, goredelephants.com. There's some great shots there. But there's this moment, who scored a second goal for us? Vasquez?
Yes.
Abraham? So he had just scored, and Hanson Arrays has run over there to celebrate with him. He's kind of on the sidelines, and there are two of our ball boys standing there. And they are looking up at him with just like this awe and yes, he's celebrating with his teammates, but then he turns his attention to those two kids. And he starts interacting and celebrating his goal and y'all's moment with two young people who are wearing red and white.
Yeah.
That's our future right there. And they're taking a moment. Like, I got to tell you, your kids are class acts. We're so daggum proud of the season they've had.
Yep.
No, please keep winning. But we're so daggum. Please keep winning. But so proud of who. But in moments like that, we're so proud of who they are, man. They're just class act kids, such great representatives of Gainesville High School. And not because they're going to the state semifinals, but because of who they are at moments like that. That was Vasquez's moment, man. He had put us ahead. Mm-hmm. And he takes it to celebrate with an elementary school student in the Gainesville City school system. Unbelievable. And an unbelievable job by you cultivating that kind of character. Couldn't be more proud of you. I know great things are coming up on Friday. Win or lose, great things are coming because you got great kids out there representing us. So we appreciate you so much, Coach.